Welcome to Good Mythical More. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is totally different. That's the game we're gonna be playing. That was the Sesame Street version.
Yeah. Did you say, I thought you said one of these things is not like the udder, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a game of
I probably did.
identifying nipples.
I cannot resist saying udder.
Well, let's guess what the word groak means. Maybe it means nipple.
So it's like croak, but the R is replaced with a,
Or the
no, the C is replaced
It's like
with a G.
croak, but it's a groak. Groak. Groak.
Is it,
Groak.
is it a verb? I think it's maybe because I just watched her video, but I feel like it's a rock formation. You gotta hang a left at the groak, and then you're gonna climb the rock face.
To me, it's something yet to be discovered. It is a theoretical thing that can happen. You've got the gleek. We all know what the gleek is, right?
That feels kind of theoretical.
I've seen it though. I've experienced it. The groak is a theoretical expulsion of something from somewhere on your body. What might it be? I think technically you can squirt out your ear. It is a theoretical, yet not observed, squirting of gray matter out of one's ear hole while in a pool setting.
Ugh. Okay. But you were probably right.
The groak. To stare at people who are eating in the hope that they will offer to share their food. I've groped a lot. I'm a groker.
Is this in the actual dictionary? Stop groaking.
My dogs are the worst grokers, man.
Yeah.
Boy, they're
Ringo does the thing where he looks off to the side of like he turns his head,
Right.
and so he's like, I'm definitively not looking at that food, and then he'll quick glance with his eyeballs over.
Yeah, right.
It's so cute.
A furtive glance.
Barbara comes up and sits. She's like, I'm doing the most obedient thing I can possibly do. Sean takes his front paws, jumps up, and just bumps you in the calf over and over again. He just gets on your leg and then he looks at you, then he hits you again, then he looks at you and he hits you again.
Jade and Jasper
Don't like food.
They don't like food.
Yeah, they're just like their owner.
we never ever give them food, and the reason why is because if Jade ever finds anything that's not her food and she eats it, there's like
Diarrhea.
she emanates nastiness all over the place.
Well, this is the crazy thing. We never, ever, while eating or cooking, give them food, but they still ask for it after all this time. I'm like, if it's in the bowl, you can have it.
But they get food.
Barbara will jump on a table and get food, but I'm saying that while we're cooking, she's like, I don't give her like pieces of meat or something while I'm cooking. I don't do that.
The only exception is if we're pulling apart a rotisserie chicken. They know that they get some of the chicken.
And that doesn't result in expulsions
No,
of the diarrheal nature?
no. All right, let's see the first challenge.
Okay, first grouping is Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Christian Bale, Christopher Walken, Chris Pratt. Who doesn't belong and why?
In the Chris's.
Well, age range and facial hair and general demeanor, I mean, Walken is not a part of this.
The Christian Bale is the only one who has never played in a Marvel movie.
You're both dancing around what we're looking for, but
So Christopher Walken is not a good guy in a superhero movie.
again, you're dancing around it
Those both seem right to me.
because what you said previously is incorrect about the.
The Marvel?
Yeah.
Christian Bale was a bad guy in a Marvel movie. Wasn't he? Oh, but was Walken in a
So we've
Was
got
Walken in a Marvel movie? Then I'm saying that.
So
Walken wasn't in a
Iron
Marvel
Man.
movie.
Well, what is
Huh?
I'm gonna get ish. That's kind of it. Yeah. So he's the only one who hasn't played a superhero. He did appear in the 1992 Batman Returns, but he plays an antagonist alongside Danny DeVito's Penguin and
Yeah, he
Michelle
does.
Pfeiffer's iconic Catwoman.
Michelle?
But he's the only one that didn't play a
Pfeiffer.
superhero.
Who was his character in that?
Max Shrek.
Max Shrek. So he was just
That
a
was
guy.
one where there were just so many different villains. Okay.
Okay. All right.
You
let's
could
see
have
another one.
also said Christian Bale is the only one whose name is Christian and not Christopher, like all the rest.
Oh.
So there's multiple ways through this gauntlet.
I think so.
Christian Bale is the one that I would be most afraid to meet. Everybody
Really?
else,
Why?
I'd be excited to meet everyone in this list in an interpersonal setting except Christian Bale. I don't know. There's something scary about him.
Yeah. He's
intimidating.
He had that moment that was captured on set.
That's true.
Was that turned out to be real
I believe so.
or
yeah.
fake?
He
Was that
just-
like my chair moment, which
He just
everyone thinks is real?
Seems so intense.
My Christian
I'm
Bale
hearing
moment?
mumblings of that was fake,
Okay.
but I don't.
Like,
Are you
hey, do you
sure?
want to meet Christian Bale? I don't know.
Yeah, what are we going to
I
talk
don't know.
about?
Yeah, what does he
seems
want to
like
meet
a-
me?
He seems like a
'Cause
serious guy.
only if he really wants to meet me, and since that's not the case, then we'll just pass.
Some celebrity, boy, I wish I could remember who it was, told a story on a podcast about meeting Christopher Walken when he was a kid. And he said that Christopher Walken was like, yes, I will meet this kid, but I have to meet, it's going to sound creepy, but I have to meet him alone. And because he wanted to create like this Christopher Walken like experience where like a kid just walks into a room and Christopher Walken is just there and gives him some like kind of talk, and that's exactly what he did.
A pocket watch.
He was like, I don't want your parents to be there. And he told the story, and it sounded like it was about to be creepy, but it wasn't. But it was just like this thing that just stuck in this kid's head, and I think that was Walken's idea.
I can believe it. Who would you rather meet, Christopher Walken or Jeff Goldblum? That's kind of easy though, isn't it?
Goldblum.
All right, next.
A race car, truck, kayak, Civic, and rotator. Rotator.
I don't know what rotator is. Is that from the
Neither,
Cars
I said
movie?
it like that.
It's
Is that a
It's
Mars
just a
rover?
rotator. It's a machine.
okay. Well, it's not an actual form of transportation, but that seems too easy.
Do you know what a rotator is?
I think that's the thing that trains you for G's.
It doesn't look like it.
What?
Because that, you're on the outside of
Put
it.
a rotator in. Now no one's telling me what a rotator is other than it's a rotator.
International Gemini Observatory. I mean, someone had to put it in there. They had to know what it was. Okay,
I don't want to call her out.
we're going to assume that it's
But I'm
not.
about to. Because Google says a rotator is a thing that rotates. This is ridiculous.
All right, so, but that's not it. That it does belong.
Well,
'Cause why else would it be?
A kayak doesn't rotate.
I think the rotator's in space, but the kayak is in water, and neither one of those have wheels. So there must be something
But
else. there.
like I said, it's too easy. The rotator is not. You can't get from point A to point B in the rotator, as far as I understand.
We don't know what it is.
It has to do with telescopes and space, is now what I'm hearing.
Well, okay. So, but
yeah,
you're saying
that's
it's
a
not
valid-
that?
It's not that, but that does seem very obvious.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so it's not that.
I think it's the race car, because the race car is the only one of these things that doesn't actually show you anything new, because you just go around a track in a circle. In the pickup truck, you can explore new lands. Same with the kayak and the Civic. And in the rotator, it's attached to a telescope, which is staring into the distant reaches of the universe. So you can't learn anything in a NASCAR.
Oh. The headlights aren't real on a race car.
Right, and the headlights on a kayak are definitely real.
The answer is like, have you ever played the New York Times game Connections?
I know what you're talking
I've
about.
heard of it.
The
like-
only self-propelled thing is the kayak.
No. I sometimes in connections, the connections are really freaking annoying, and you're like, I'm thinking about this thing in one way, but you're asking me to connect them in a completely different way.
Yeah.
That's about to
Christopher
happen.
Walken has never been in a kayak. That's it.
So it's a race car, a truck. Wait. Did I just confuse myself? I confused myself.
Just tell us the answer. I think we've.
Well, no, because that
think we're-
doesn't make sense with what it. How is that? How is.
Somebody, whoever knows the answer, just say it.
Oh,
Let's just forget this part ever happened.
that makes sense. The word, think about the words: race car, truck, kayak,
Oh,
Civic,
truck.
rotator,
Truck.
Every single.
Oh.
The truck is the only one that's not
forward
a
and backwards.
anagram.
palindrome. Yeah.
Palagram.
Oh, you got us. Brilliant. It was so good.
It
Confuse
would have
myself,
helped
I
if we could have
confused
seen the
you.
words. Palagram?
Palindrome.
Palindrome? Isn't that what the bikes go
A
around on the
palindrome
Olympics?
is an anagram of a palindrome. Which we'll do that on a
What's a
different one.
bananagram?
Since we're at such a high point in this more, I want to remind you that the Golden Tea of Mythicality giveaway is underway, and you only have until the end of this week to enter for your chance to win. Do not miss out on a chance to win $40,000.
Wow.
Go to mythical.com for details and to enter.
Oh, there's the shirt.
Here's the shirt right here. See?
And again,
Just
you get a shirt either way.
and you get this shirt. But buy this shirt, you're automatically entered, and it might be gold. Have $40,000 stuffed in it.
Wow.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Thank you for that, Stevie.
Okay, let's try this again. This is going well. We have the color yellow, some jello, a fellow,
Okay.
a jello, marshmallow, and a cello.
Who's the guy?
Which one doesn't belong?
What's his name?
A fellow.
Fellow.
Oh. Well, they all rhyme.
So,
You can't
I think
eat
yellow doesn't go because it ends in a W, and all the other ones, well, except for fellow.
you can't eat a cello.
You can't eat what?
A cello.
Oh,
But you can't eat yellow and a fellow. I have to sneeze.
how do you say that beer?
Modelo.
Okay.
Modelo.
I say Modelo as well, but I was recently
Modelo.
corrected. To say,
Modelo.
see, yeah, they got angry. They were like, Modelo is what it is. I'm like, I've never in my life.
Modelo?
But you know what? It is Los Feliz. People in the comment section. I know that
Los
in
Feliz.
Spanish it's not, but the neighborhood where you
Los Feliz.
obviously don't live.
Yeah.
Los Feliz.
But hold on. But what would the internet
Wasn't
be?
supposed to be offensive.
What
that
would
you
the
don't live in
internet
that neighborhood.
be?
I don't live in that neighborhood now either.
What would the internet be without people making bold, confident assertions
Yeah.
that are not right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fun.
That's so interesting. Does that happen often?
No.
Cello. Marshmallow.
Marshmallow has.
This is one
so-
where you think about the words again. The words themselves.
Yellow.
Oh, Modelo only has one L.
Hey! That's
If
pretty
it
good.
had two, it would be Modelo. Right? Just like we were saying.
Unless it's the neighborhood.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, this is fun. Let's go again. Bob Dylan, Link Neal,
Uh.
Grant Gustin, Jack Quaid, Mark Ruffalo, Ryan Reynolds, and Pat Sajak.
So, I'm included. Unless I'm not. Unless I'm the
There's
one.
probably some
Why am I-
astrology thing here.
Why am I making that face?
You're
why-
probably all Geminis except for Pat Sajak, who's a Libra.
That's fun. That was the initial idea, and then we were like, they're not gonna have any idea when Pat Sajak was born.
Is
That
Pat
would be-
Sajak a Libra? Just look that up. Because I feel like I have Pat Sajak in it.
Oh, don't say that.
In Scorpio.
We all seem really nice, but we're actually like Bob Dylan.
So it isn't. Well, Link's the only one with glasses.
Correct. That's not it, but that is right.
Bob Dylan's the only one without boyish charm. I mean, think about it.
I mean,
Boyish charm, yeah.
All the rest of them have it.
you think Pat Sajak has boyish
He
charm?
probably
Definitely.
He probably did
Definitely.
at one point.
Definitely. No, he does. I mean, would you fight him outside of a bar? No.
Is that how you define boyish charm?
It's the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you know a lot about Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
I know that he was the Flash on TV.
You know more than I do.
Hold on, the guy next to you was?
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot cooler, huh? Than when he was the Flash.
Well, he grew some patchy facial hair, yes.
The CW Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one I watched with my kids 10 years ago.
They all have a podcast with their dad except for
Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak. They all rely on a woman to turn their letters.
To turn their letters?
I don't know. That's just Pat Sajak.
Oh.
Bob Dylan was the only one that was in We Are the World.
Okay. Yeah. This is.
They all have famous
think
fathers.
About their first names.
One
Everyone's
syllable.
First names. No. Well, that could work as well.
Ryan is the only one that doesn't have a one syllable first name.
That's true.
What?
But everyone else's name, other than Ryan's, also has
Has a
another
K in it.
No.
Mark, Sajak, Jack, Link, Bob.
Grant. I don't. It's the first names or all nicknames? They're all the nicknames except for.
Again, that's. I mean, I think that feels right too. But no, it's. They're all verbs. Bob, Link, Grant, Jack, Mark.
But you can't Ryan anything.
Exactly.
You can't Ryan anything. Nope. Haha. You're out of here, Ryan.
Okay, we have
What's his
time
last
for
name?
one more. Do you want it to
Yes.
be numbers based or not?
We wanted to be gettable.
Not.
Twig, strawberry, iceberg, handcuffs, lily pad, duck.
Well, the handcuffs is the only unnatural one.
It
Man-made.
Yeah, I will. You know what? I'll accept that. It also handcuffs also doesn't belong for one other reason. That is,
They all have corkscrew penises except for the handcuffs.
Right. Uh-huh.
There's more that you don't see to these than you do. Except for the iceberg.
You can't secure somebody to a bed with strawberries.
They're all pieces.
Everything could be a part of a an intimate experience, except
Quack, quack, quack.
except a duck. You can use sticks,
I beg to differ.
dicks. I mean, sticks,
Sticks and ducks.
sticks, strawberries and ice, handcuffs, flowers. This duck doesn't belong. This duck doesn't belong.
what a weird thing to accidentally do and clap to.
Dicks.
So what's the reason? What's the reason? I don't know.
Handcuffs are the only thing in this grouping that doesn't float in water.
Oh,
Okay.
true.
Don't miss your chance to win our biggest prize ever. Enter to win the Golden Tee of Mythicality giveaway now at mythical.com.